If you're just joining us, welcome. This is going to be part 2 of the Mackenzie Shirilla case. I'm going to be super honest with you. You really should watch part 1 first before watching this video. Everything that happens in this video makes a lot more sense if you know the full story. The link is below, so go watch that one first and then come back to this one. For everyone who did watch part 1, welcome back. It's your girl Kristen, and welcome to episode 3 of XOXO Crimes podcast. We have a lot to get through, so let's get into it. Here's a quick recap of part 1. July 31st, 2022, Strongsville, Ohio, Mackenzie Shirilla, 17 years old, is driving a Toyota Camry. With her, Dominic Russo and Davian Flanagan, both 20 years old. Mackenzie drives that car into the exterior brick wall of a commercial building on Spafford Road at over 100 miles per hour. The footage captured by a surveillance camera shows the car accelerating, no braking, no swerve, just straight into that wall. Dominic and Davian were killed. Mackenzie survived. The investigation revealed a documented pattern of threatening text messages from Mackenzie to Dominic throughout their relationship, confirmed in court by Assistant Prosecutor Tim Trope. Mackenzie was charged with 2 counts of murder, tried as an adult, and then her legal team made a decision that surprised everyone. They waived the jury, 1 judge, 1 verdict. That trial happened in the summer of 2023, and this is what happened inside of that courtroom. Before we get to the verdict, I want to make sure you actually understand what a bench trial is, because it's very important. In most serial criminal cases in the United States, a defendant has the right to a jury trial. 12 people from the community sit in that box, hear all the evidence from both sides, and then deliberate together until they reach a verdict. A bench trial skips all of that. In a bench trial, the judge takes the place of the jury, they hear the evidence, they evaluate the witnesses, and they alone decide whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. Now, why would a defense team choose this? Legal strategy isn't always something lawyers explain publicly. There are a lot of theories about why Mackenzie's team made this call. Some people think they believed a judge would be more objective than an emotional jury. Some think it was a miscalculation, but we do not know for certain. What we do know is the outcome. The trial of Mackenzie Shirilla took place in the summer of 2023 in Ohio, and both sides came in with everything they had. The prosecution, led by Assistant Prosecutor Tim Trope, laid out their case piece by piece. First, the surveillance footage. The footage showing the Toyota Camry approaching that wall at over 100 miles per hour, no braking, car accelerating all the way to impact. The prosecution's argument: no one accidentally drives a car at 100 miles an hour into a wall without braking. The absence of any attempt to stop is evidence of intent. Second, the text messages. The documented pattern of Mackenzie threatening Dominic throughout their relationship, message after message. Not once, not twice, a consistent pattern that painted a picture, in the prosecution's view, of someone who was obsessive, controlling, and unable to accept the fact or possibility of losing Dominic. And third, the context of the relationship itself. Dominic, by the evidence, had been trying to create distance from the relationship. Mackenzie had responded with threats, and on the morning of July 31st, 2022, they were in a car together at over 100 miles per hour. The prosecution's theory: Mackenzie Shirilla deliberately drove that car into that wall. She used it as a weapon, and she killed Dominic and Davian. Now, the defense. And I want to be fair here because fairness matters in how we tell these stories. Mackenzie's defense argued clearly and consistently that this was a tragic accident, not a deliberate act, not a murder, an accident. They challenged the prosecution's interpretation of the surveillance footage. They argued that the footage alone could not prove intent, that you cannot look at a car and know beyond reasonable doubt what a person was thinking in the moments before impact. They pointed to Mackenzie's age, 17 years old at the time, a teenager, and they pushed back on the idea that a volatile, threatening relationship automatically proves someone is capable of premeditated murder. These are not unreasonable arguments. Courts require proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and the defense's job is to raise that doubt. Whether they succeed, that was entirely up to Judge Nancy Margaret Russo. The trial ran through the summer of 2023. Both sides presented their evidence, their arguments, their witnesses, and then it was over. And Judge Nancy Margaret Russo prepared to deliver her verdict. I want you to think about the families in that courtroom for a second. Dominic Russo's family, his mother, his sister, who has been one of the most vocal public voices throughout this entire case. Davian Flanagan's family. They had been waiting for this moment for over a year. And on the other side of that courtroom, Mackenzie Shirilla and her mother, Natalie Shirilla, who had stood by her daughter's innocence from the very beginning. One judge, one word, guilty. 2 counts of murder. Judge Nancy found Mackenzie guilty of the murder of Dominic and the murder of Davian. And the internet absolutely exploded. Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, half of the comments, finally justice. And suddenly, millions of people who had never heard of Strongsville, Ohio, had an opinion about Mackenzie Shirilla. The debate was, and still is, real and genuine and fierce. And I'm not here to tell you what to think about it. What I am here to tell you is what happened next. The sentence hearing. Both families came to court to speak, to tell the judge and the world what losing Dominic and Davian had done to them. And Mackenzie, now 18 years old, having had her birthday between the crash and the sentencing, spoke to court herself. Judge Nancy sentenced Mackenzie to 15 years to life in prison. Twice. 1 sentence for Dominic, 1 sentence for Davian, running concurrently, meaning both sentences are served at the same time, not back to back. Now, let me make sure that's clear, because I know sentencing math can be confusing. 15 years to life means Mackenzie must serve a minimum of 15 years before she can even be considered for parole. She was 18 at sentencing. She is 21 right now in 2026. She will be at minimum 30 years old and more likely older before she has any chance of getting out. Now, here is where I have to tell you something, because here is where the story, which was already one of the most discussed true crime cases in years, gets stranger. After the verdict, after the sentencing, after the cameras left the courtroom, Mackenzie was behind bars, and she started making phone calls. And those phone calls, which were recorded because phone calls from jail are always recorded. And those phone calls have since been obtained by multiple news outlets. And when people heard what was on them, their reaction was in something else entirely. So here's what was on those calls. This has been confirmed and reported by People Magazine, Oxygen, and Entertainment Weekly, all in May 2026. These are not internet rumors. These are verified reports. On one call, Mackenzie, convicted of 2 counts of murder, sentenced to 15 years to life, told her mother that she deserves 0 jail time. 0. She also complained about the judge, and she demanded on a recorded jail call that her mother, Natalie Shirilla, organize public protests on her behalf. People Magazine posted about this call. It got 48,000 likes in a matter of days. Because whatever side of the debate you were on, whatever you believed about the verdict, the image of someone convicted of 2 murders telling their mother they deserve no jail time and demanding protests, that's a little crazy. But that isn't even the strangest part. There's another set of phone calls. Multiple outlets, Entertainment Weekly, People Magazine, Oxygen, all confirmed the same thing. On certain jail calls, Mackenzie and her mother began communicating in what multiple outlets describe as a secret language. I would probably call it Pig Latin, a personal code, spoken while other inmates were present, as if they didn't want to be fully understood.
Oh my God, that's right. Yes. He didn't read the secret reading. He didn't feel reading.
Which one? Oh, great. Don't forget. You said, can I say it out? Can I say it in return just to make sure?
Oh, yeah.
I can talk. Rape, you're saying rape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So don't forget, that might not be what really happened. She's being accused of that.
Now, I'm not going to pretend and know exactly what that was about. No one has publicly explained it definitely, but I will say this. When you're already convicted of murder and recordings of you speaking in code from prison starts making the rounds, it doesn't exactly help public perception. And through all of this, Natalie, Mackenzie's mother, has continued to publicly maintain that her daughter is innocent. Now, I mentioned at the start of the series that a Netflix documentary called The Crash dropped in May 2026. And the reason I'm mentioning it now is because its release caused a second wave of public conversation about this case that is honestly just as intense as the first one. The documentary premiered on May 15th, 2026, and within days, the coverage was everywhere. Court TV previously highlighted footage on May 18th. The Bodycam footage from the morning of the crash was re-released and went viral again. TMZ posted on Instagram, where it got over 17,000 likes within days. WKYC in Cleveland reported on May 20th that Dominic's sister had spoken out publicly in response to the documentary. And People Magazine, one of the biggest publications in the country, published a piece titled 6 Alarming Details Missing from the Crash, suggesting that the documentary may have left out important context about the case. Now, I haven't seen the documentary myself yet, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's one-sided or unfair. What I will say is, when a major publication specifically publishes a piece about what a documentary left out, that is definitely worth noting. One of the things that has followed this case from the beginning and that the Netflix documentary reignited is the question of why. Not the legal why, the human why. How does a person arrive at a moment like July 31st, 2022? Forensic psychologist Dr. John, who appears in a YouTube video that has been viewed over 65,000 times, has publicly analyzed the psychology behind this case. That video is linked in the description if you want to go deeper. But here is the broader question that I keep coming back to. When a relationship becomes obsessive, when the fear of losing someone becomes bigger than any sense of consequence, what does that do to a person's thinking? And when that person is 17 years old, with a brain that is scientifically and medically still developing, how do we hold all of that at once? I'm not asking those questions to excuse what happened. 2 people are dead. Dominic and Davian never got to turn 21, never got to figure out who they are, never got to figure out who they were going to become. Those are the facts that matter the most. But the why is the thing that people cannot stop talking about. And it's worth asking. So, where are we now? As of right now, May 2026, Mackenzie Shirilla is 21 years old. She is incarcerated, serving her sentence of 15 years to life. She has been reported to be pursuing an appeal, though the exact status of that appeal has not been confirmed in available public reporting. If there are any updates to that, I'll pin them in the comments. Her mom continues to publicly support her and claim her innocence? I would love to hear your thoughts on this case, this situation, what team you're on. Please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe, stay smart, and as always, XOXO. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.